Hi, Joe here over at Woolly Cottage. Wednesday afternoon lunch chat. I've just seen the state of my hair. My hair's looking so flat and boring these days. I really do need to get myself to the hairdressers. Right, which way does it want to go? That way. So I'm just, oh a minute. Remember the other month I did the blending. Hiya Bridie love. Did the, do you know, I've put this one back to front. I don't know how I've done that. Did the blending boards, and I had all my Rolex, and I spun them singles onto my wheel. So I thought, well, I'll sit and do a bit of that today. I have took this off my website, so I thought I'll do an art yarn spin video for next week. Now that I've got, I say, nothing else to do, but I don't have any woolly stuff to do, no orders to do. So I'm foot free, fancy foot free. So I'm just going to sit here and apply that up from those. Finally caught a rabbit. Finally caught a rabbit, Danielle. Finally caught alive. Welcome, love. Not much to say. Well, I've been tidying my room this morning. It wasn't not intentional whatsoever. And my worktop, I've just put a single coat of copper metallic paint. I love metallic copper. I love metallic paints. I'm such a twinkle toes in disguise. I've got my tank top on. Yes, I have. Look. I've been wanting something to go with this stupid big, silly big shirt that I've got. It's what I call my new romantics. It's just out of Next, and there was only a couple of them. And I just fell in love with it. It's one of those big blousey, sort of Georgian, with a long double cuff so I can flick them back when I'm doing stuff. But it hides all my necessities and my lumps and bumps and my bumpy scars from my sections. So there are a few issues with it. I've done a couple of cock-ups, mostly along here, but it's hidden by my scarf so you can't see where they are. But yeah, so I'm dead proud of myself. I'm going to do another one in the wools that I've dyed up for doing my next project. So if there's any left over, because it's really it's a scrappy thing you can do with it, as long as you've got more than enough. I used I've got to say, you're working from the sofa using your son's little play table as a coffee table, put your beads on. I usually work whatever space I can manfangle out of something. There's never any space in this house. Nothing ever gets put away. I have a dicky fit every so often when it's got to the point of no return and I've had enough. But yet this jumper, I would say the main background fibre wool, the dark colour, I've used about 150 grams of a 4-ply. It was merino, was it merino and was it alpaca? Merino alpaca yarn. It's got silk in it as well. And then the ones I've used in between, one was a superwash merino and one was a merino bamboo ply that I just pinched out of my stock that was from the web shop. And you're lucky if I've used 50 grams of both the colours. I've still got loads of it left over. Watch out, sweetie. So that's what I've got left out of a 100-gram ball. So I would say there's about 50 grams left in that. So there's still about 100 yards left, 200 yards left of that. So if I was to do a hat, I would actually quite happily use that because there's more than enough for me to use the background colour. And then on the 2 second colours that I used, that's what I've got left of them. So I would say I've barely used 25, 30 odd grams of the fibre to do this jumper. You're on the T2 watching this then mooching across to Bolton to drop off some ceramics to be fired. Well, I've got an order to get posted out that came in yesterday, Monday. So I'll get that posted out today. And I've got 5 Christmas Advents to post. So I'm just trying to keep the load down, getting the post office. But I sent out 2 on Monday with the overseas orders, and they got them yesterday. So really, really quick. And I'm sending them first class signed for, which is an arm and a flaming leg these days. It really is. I remember sending out my Christmas orders last year and it didn't even come to £7 from a postage. This year it's just shy of a tenner. It's flipping ridiculous. And I don't take into account my postage when I put my prices on for my Christmas advents, but I will do next year. But next year is going to be a little bit different on the Christmas advents. I'm doing a budget friendly one, and I'm going to do still the 700 grams of Christmas advent, but I'm not going to do 24 days of Christmas next year. I think I'm going to try and sort of reduce my work down a little bit and do something different, because the last 3 years I've done it like that. But then that's not to say I don't put the option on there if anybody wants the small samples. But I was thinking, I've been playing with the idea of doing 12 days of Christmas plus Christmas Day. So from the 12th of December all the way through to Christmas Eve, 50 gram bats, with every one of them every day having a gift inside, and then Christmas Day being 100 grams. So that's what I'm thinking of doing for next year, and it helps me searching for colour themes as well, because sometimes when I'm thinking of colours, I've got to find something with a larger array, so I'm not repeating. Iona, what are you doing? So I'm not repeating colours all the time. So I thought, well, if I stick with 12 days, it means I can sort of go into more specialised, like the fun fair or something like that, where your pictures aren't going to be repeating all the time. And I can go a little bit neon, a little bit poppy, and things like that, and be inspired with candy floss and Blackpool illuminations and neon city lights and that sort of thing. So that's what I'm thinking for next year. And then doing a smaller, I say pocket money version, but the same as what I do for Easter, where I do 12 30-gram mini bats and 50 gram bat for Christmas Day, and maybe adding in a pack of my locks, 50 grams worth of locks. So you're really getting 100 grams. And then, as I say, doing the little some little extras, but there won't be many in there. It'll just be few and far between, because it's at half the price. So that's what I'm playing with for next year. So let me know. So, because I plan all these things in advance and I get them sorted in my head. So I'm already planning Easter, you see. Easter sets are the 30 grams for 12. I think it's for 10 days I do it. And then Easter Sunday is 50 grams. And this year's one came in a cake box, which I might actually do something similar to that again this year. I just need to come up with a colour theme, which is where I'm at now. So yeah, I didn't use a lot to make this jumper. I'm really quite surprised. So it probably weighs about 250 grams, this top. So it's definitely a good stash buster if you've got 2 skeins of wool and you're like, oh, what can I make with it? And I'm a size, I like to say I'm a size 10, but I'm not. I'm probably good 10 to 12. Yeah, I veer between 10 and a 12. If I want something that's really light and baggy, I go for a 14. Like, I like my shirts to be oversized. My new corduroy shirt that I got from Asda the other week there, that's a size 14, but I love that it's really big and I can put a jumper underneath it if I want to layer up. If it's like a day like this and it's frosty outside and I want a jumper on, but then I want an overshirt on top of that as well, just to keep the wind chill off myself. So yeah, so sorry I was late anyway. The Amazon man decided he was going to turn up. I'm waiting for the wool orders to come now, but one of Phil's Christmas presents have come, but I can't show you because you're all telling what he's getting for Christmas. It's Lego and it's from Star Wars, but it's amazing. So I've ordered him that. We've allowed ourselves a couple of his pension. His pension, instead of going into the savings, we're using it for our Christmas gifts this year. And I bought myself some new wellies. God, there's some glare off that back window. Got myself some new wellies because my wellies that I have got, I've got a big hole in the heel of them. So now I've got no excuse not to I've got no excuse not to take the dogs up the back for a big long walk in the wetness, because it really does get proper mucky up on that back hill. And I'll not be able to take them out because it's constantly raining. Today's the first dry day we've had in a couple of days. So, and Scardy's entertaining herself because we've not been out. She's running around the house like a flaming blue ass fly. So she's doing that. She's up at the top of the landing at the moment. I've kept her occupied with a Buffalo Rawhide cigar. She's quite entertained. But, oh, Shad me potty. It's not raining today. She's got no excuses. She hates going out in the rain. She hates going out in the dark. So when you need her to do her business, she won't go out in it. So you're constantly chasing around the house to grab her in time to throw her at the back door in the rain when she needs away. And I missed her every single time. She's driving us potty at the moment. Becoming exacerbated with her. What else did I get? What else did I get in the post? Oh yeah, some 3D filament. So I've got another one to come, but I don't know if they sent me both of them. I've ordered, for practicing with, obviously, some metallic copper. Joe, you're such a blingo. And this matte lilac colour. And downstairs I've got a posh one, an expensive one for when I've figured out my designs and got it all going. It's multicoloured, so and it's metallic silky, a silky one, so it'll be all nice and shiny. So I've got to start now that I'm getting myself. This is why I'm tidying up. You see, it turned out to from just put away my wheels to full on. Right, that unit's coming off there, and I'm pulling that out. I couldn't even see, just from one unit, I couldn't even see my worktop. There was that much wool squished in that box. I can't even understand how it manages to sit in there, so much of it. There was loads of it. Stuff I'd forgotten I had. Honestly, the stuff's like gremlins. You buy one and multiply it 20 times. So what else I've got? So yeah, Christmas advents. I'm posting out a few of those today. So the ones that are left will get posted out on Friday. And then that breaks, and that'll be them all. That's them all gone then. 5 today and 5 on Friday. And that's it. I can dust my hands of them. I like doing the Easter ones because they're nice and small and they're really easy to do. And I can have them all done up in a week. They're just so simple to do. The only thing that takes the longest is finding the colours that I want and obviously dyeing it all. So has anyone got any theme ideas? What did I do? Not last year, the year before, I did cocktails. What did I do this year? Do you know, I can't even remember what I did this year for my themes. It'll be on my website somewhere. So I need to think of themes for this year coming. And I can't think of anything at the moment. I think I'm going to go with funfair or amusements next year for Christmas. I think that'll be nice and fun. And I've never been able to do neons in my Christmas advents. So I think I might have to do a little bit of a psychedelic or something like that. Oh, this will spin up really quickly. So I've got a load. I also found all the wheels, all the yarns that I spun up last year for my Christmas Advent Vlogmas. They were all still in the packets from last year in a basket. So I think there was a request, I think it might have been Anne the other week there, to do a scrappy weaving. So as I say, now that I've got everything out of the way, I can wing up my my little Presto loom and get some weaving done, or just a little sample ones, and get rid of all these scrappy bits of yarns that I've got lying all over the place, because I've got loads of them. Oh, it wants to tangle. Somebody's done a trump. One of you guys have done a yellow alert. Oh, do you know, grade the girls' pumps with yellow alerts. And green's the worst. Are you interested? This dog's so flipping nosy. What am I doing? She says, I don't know, just let me eat it. Let me eat it. She shouldn't be doing anything, she should be giving me attention. I'm mesmerised. No, get off me, you little How scardy that hurts. So what else have we been up to? Yeah, just trying to get my room sorted out. Phil's picking me up when he finishes work, then it's straight out, post office, go for a quick mooch, and then back again and get some more of this work done. I've just moved the computer in, and then I'm going to get my tools out later on and build my 3D printer. Because he said I could. He said I'm allowed to, because I can't practice doing any designs and getting to know the software until it's actually linked up with the printer. So that's my excuse, and I'm sticking with it. It's my early Christmas present. my big one. I've never had such a big Christmas present since I was a kid. It's the equivalent of somebody getting a PlayStation for Christmas for me. But once I've got it up and rigged up and thinking, I'll do a little demo on one of my chats. So next week I'll have a video ready with cheating, and that's a Christmas present. It is a Christmas present. Well, Phil ordered it and it arrived, and it was that heavy that he thought, oh, there's no way I'm going to get this up the loft hatch. So he's there, do you want it? Do you want it? I'm like, what's the point of giving it to me? He says, well, I've got nowhere to hide it. I says, well, wrap it up and hide it in my room. I won't peek, I promise, I won't peek. That's another story. So he's like adamant he was going to let me see it, but it's still in the box, you see, and I've got to build it. Hence the reason why it was so cheap, but it's got like really good ratings and reviews, and it's from a proper pucker company, and it's one of their budget 3D printers. And you can actually buy an extender to it to make it like massive. Oh, come on. Oh, do you know, I hate it when it all gets all doofus. So yeah, but he's been buying me all the filaments and everything, you see, and saying to me, oh, what colours you want. So he tells me that I'm useless when it comes to Christmas presents, but he's worse than me. And what he should have really have done is just ordered it and sent it to his mother's, and that way I'd have never known it was there until Christmas. But then I would have had to spend all Christmas Day researching how to use the flipping thing. Oh, there we go. So now I'm just waiting for World of Wilt to turn up. That is for the new sock sets, sock heel toe sets that I'm putting on the website next week. Probably do a couple of bats. I'm not going to bother doing the little blend kits because I've got quite a few of those in stock. But if anybody wants me to do one in a specific colour theme, let me know. I'll quite happily sort it out. And that's about it really. I've got a load of locks to go on the website, but I can't put them on yet because I did, do you know, washing raw locks, you can never tell how heavy they're going to be or if you've got the right amount until after you've cleaned them and dyed them. So because I only do mine in batches, I've ended up with loads of BFL curls in a mixed colour, but they're from my Christmas advents. So I can't put them on the shop yet, and they're sat in this basket. I'm like, what am I going to do with them? So I'm going to have to squirrel them away somewhere and probably forget all about them until Easter. Oh, this is getting all man-tangled. So we've been watching some good programmes this week. What did we watch? No, watched well, I started watching it, then Phil was like, oh, what's this rubbish? And I'm like, oh, it's called The Sinner, it's really good. He's a copper who's like at the end of his career, but he's come from a tragic background. His mum had bipolar when he was a kid, and he set the house on fire, but nobody knew, and he had to come to terms and confess with it. Anyway, he goes around solving these crimes, and he's a bit of a sucker for a sob story, but he's like a dog with a bone. He genuinely cannot stop until he's got all the answers. If something's niggling him, he will figure it out. But yeah, it's really good. It's got oh, who remembers that alien movie from the 90s with Will Smith in it? Well, it's the actor that played the president in that movie. It had Jeff Goldblum and everything in it. Oh, what was it called? Oh, I can't remember. Yeah, so it's that him whatsoever. I can't remember his name. I'm useless. I never forget a face, but names take me a little while for them to stick. Do you know, this yarn's driving me potty. It's fallen right out the little cake that I did. I'm going to end up snapping it in a minute. Oh, So the other thing I was on about, I'll get it out in a minute. I ordered a book from Bridie the other week that she posted on her social media. Now, Bridie, if you get any more of these books in stock, because if anybody wants one, go on to Bridie's Instagram account and her Facebook account. She's got her own little woolly shop. She's got 2 of these books left in stock. She's got her own little woolly shop and crafts and everything else. She sells all sorts of stuff, and she always puts posts on her. You always got little sales and little deals going on as well, haven't you, Bridie? But it's called Fine Yarns. So go and look her up. And anyone that's watching after tomorrow when this gets uploaded, because it's live, it doesn't go straight on. And because I've got under 300 people, under 400 people, I'm not like instant upload, doesn't work. So this book, I've had a flick through it. I had a flick through it the other day, and I need to have a really, really good read of it. But this book, it's yarn spinning with a modern twist, how to create your own gorgeous yarns using a drop spindle. Now, I can definitely say there are books out there about telling you how to use drop spindles, but I would say that they were printed in 1984. And they've definitely not been upgraded since. But this book, look at those. All these little art yarns. And this is very similar. She has a very similar attitude to Ashley Martineau, who started off with a drop spindle and did art yarns on her drop spindles. And if you go and find any of her videos, you'll see what I'm talking about. Her very first video was when she first started out in the fibre world. But this book is by a woman called Vanessa Croening. You can actually find her on Facebook as well. I've looked her up. Now, if you want a copy and you want it pretty smartish, go and find Bridie and Fine Yarns on Instagram and Facebook, because I've had a look and it is on the old naughty interweb shop, begin with an A, and they haven't got them in yet. 30th of November they've been released. Okay, you can pre-order it, but go to Bridie first, because she's got 2 copies and it'll be out within a week. Otherwise wait for the big A. But I'm sure Bridie will get some more in if you sell it really quickly. And if that's the case, I bet Bridie can get them in quicker than what the big interweb one beginning with an A does. But it goes on about, she talks about, I mean, this is really great for people that are just starting out in the fibre world, and you've got people like me says, go and get yourself a drop spindle, start off that way from scratch, because I think it's a really important part of finding out how to spin. But it talks about fleece and fibres and preparation in there. Book looks interesting. Is it on drop spindling? Yes, it is, Daniela. It is about drop spindling. So she goes on about how to clean and scour your wools and your fleeces. So like literally from beginning, and she talks you through all the processes of how to do it. You'll use your drop spindles, you've got 4. I'm waiting to see if Phil actually ever gets around to getting me a Saxon one and a Roman one. And then fibre preparation in there using a carder and a wool box. Wool picker, which I've been wanting one for ages. That'll just have to wait. I'll get one day. How to make roll lags on your large carders. Blending board tutorials. Though her blending board tutorials will never be as good as mine. But yeah, how to use a blending board, what fibres to use, because she very much like me, she doesn't believe in sticking with just one fibre and prepping it. She likes to add in different fibres and textures into her wools, and I really do think with some wools it really does complement it. So like then roll lags and using drop spindles. Danielle, Need still got the fleece that came with your Ashford Country Spinner. You got a fleece with that? Oh, you got your second hand. That's what it was. Then she goes on about drum carding and blending your bats and things like that. So hers look really quite. Her bats look very just put on there, loosely dispatched. But she gives you good ideas and incentives on to get going for using your drum carder if you're fortunate enough to have one. How to blend out, create a bat with a drum carder. Oh, she's doing the roly-poly roll. I've never seen anyone else do that. There's only me that does that. Yeah, so she gives tips as well. When you finish carding, and sometimes before, you will want to clean off your drum carder so that you don't mix any unwanted textures, and to keep your machine in good working order. You can use your flicker brush to grab excess fibres from your drum carder by brushing in the opposite direction that you would use when carding. My favourite tool to use is the porcupine quill to gently tease out any stubborn leftovers that are hiding in the tines. Porcupine quills, you can buy them from Paul at Classic Carders, but I'll tell you, let me just, 2 ticks. I have got this little gadget, and I have shown it before, and I end up ordering a pack of them, and I sent one down to Liz Purvis for hers. It's a bit battered, but I use this, and it's actually a hairbrush cleaning comb. It looks like a little metal broom, okay? And if you go onto the naughty interweb beginning with an A, look for brush cleaners, okay, or hairbrush cleaners. They usually come in a pack of 2, and they're well under £8. I think I bought a pack of 2 of these, and I think it was about £5. So it's really not bad. And I use this for cleaning both my drum carder, my carding, my little carders, hand carders, and my drum card and my blending board. So I use mine for all of those, and it's really great because the tines just split apart. They're really, I mean, it's slightly rigid, but it gets all those bits, especially if you've used neps. Got neps and they embed themselves in there, and you can never get them out without taking out half your nail. So that, for me, is a really good tool. Oh, pack it in. So what else does she go on about? So you've gone all the way through the process and everything else. She talks a little bit about using a diz on a drum carder, which I am trying my best to perfect my my skill on using a diz on a drum carder. It's really hard. So yeah, and I think maybe because my drum carder is up so high, so I may have to move it to a different level for me to actually get that technique up and going. So she's talking about using different types of spindles, the anatomy of a spindle, if you like, as you say, back to basics, completely new, how to create your leader thread, then talks about the Z and the S directions. Yeah, so it's designed for, you've been trying the diz on your peg loom. I've been to try the diz from a peg loom weaver. Yeah, and I can do it on my blending board, but I really haven't sussed it out. On the drum card, I know the ethos behind it and what I'm supposed to do, but I'm finding because my drum card is up like literally quite high, I like my workstation to be literally at my waist height. So because I've got it so high, my drum card is the jumbo one, so it really does sit quite high off. So I'm not getting a really good purchase. So I think what I would have to do to perfect it is to put it over on my little TV unit that I do my photography on, close the door so the flipping dogs can't get in, and then try it from there and see if a different angle actually helps me with doing it. Because a lot of people just use, I used to use my monk's bench when I first started all this and started doing my videos. I was downstairs in the back room in the old kitchen, which is where all my stock sits, and my loom sits out there now. But I used to have this old-fashioned monk's bench. It was a table, and I flipped the lid up, it turned into a bench with a box underneath and a drawer. I don't even, oh, that's still in there now. And I used to do I did my first advents from this little table. I mean, it wasn't much bigger than a TV unit. I did all my Christmas advents from that table. I don't know how I did it. I genuinely don't know how I managed, but I did. My very first Christmas advents were done from that table. So she talks about Andy implying as well, wrapping the yarn around your hand, what the best technique is for doing it. I can't do it that way. I just wrap it around like a cake. I can't do that with my hands. My hands are tiny. Magic gloves are still too big for me. I have one pair of gloves that I've had for the last 10 years, and this year I've not been able to find them. And I got them from Bon Marsh, and they're for Granny's hands, and they're leather with a fleece backing on them. And I can't find them. I don't know what I've done with them. I've never lost them until I went out in the garden one day, and that's it. Not seen them since. I can't even get gardening gloves. So even if I get a pair of kids' gardening gloves, I still can't work and pull out brambles and stuff like that because they're not designed for children to be pulling out brambles out the ground. So yeah, using a niddy noddy, about twisting, setting your twist on your yarn, so everything from soaking the weight, resting them, steaming them. I steam my yarns. I've got this brilliant little gadget. I've shown it before. Sure I have. I have on my Instagram, and I know 3 other people, as soon as they see me with mine, they went off and got theirs. But I use... Oh, hold on a minute. I use that. It is actually a travel kettle. I don't know where the attachment is for the actual lid for the travel kettle, but it is a 2-in-1 steam kettle as well. And it actually says on the instructions you can boil an egg inside it. So that's what I use for steaming, and it's really great. I can steam 2 full skeins of art yarn with 1 full kettle's worth, and it's got 2 heat temperature settings on it as well. But it's a brilliant little contraption. I spotted it one day in Home Bargains. Was it springtime or something like that, or maybe last year, and it was only 15 quid. But you can get them online. But that's a brilliant piece of kit to have. That one's by a company called Bouquet. So yeah, that's really cool. So I've got tips as well. I've got tips. So she actually shows that she's got a little steam travel kettle machine for doing her steam settings, and it's really quite powerful. You can burn your fingers on it. Using drop spindles, spinning with clouds. So it's a real adding buttons and beads and things like that to making art yarn, and how you can play with it on your spindle. So yeah, definitely worth the look, definitely worth the investment. It's $14.99. Bridie, is that how much you're selling it for? So yes, but Bridie's got 2 copies of these left in her shop if you want her to send you one out and charge you postage, or if you're nearby, go and pick it up. Yeah, I can see you, you minx. So yeah, there we go. There. So I shall be referencing to this, because I genuinely don't do a lot of spinning on my drop spindle. I think I was one of these ones that once I figured out what to do, I was, within a couple of weeks, I was off. I wanted a spinning wheel. So that's what I ended up doing. She touches on a little bit of dyeing as well, which is to say is a brilliant book for beginners, or for people just wanting a little bit more inspiration because they've, like me, put the drop spindle to one side and never touched it again. This is definitely a good way to get you going. There we go. There you go, Vanessa. You've had a plug. With Jo and all her 360 people. So I think that's about it. What time are we on? 1:40. So I'll give a few more minutes and then I'll pop off. Has anyone got any questions? Because I've proper waffled on. I could roll this off here, and then I can put it to one side with me stash of Christmas stuff. And I found loads of wools today. I've ended up with a Bob's basket. I've got my bits and Bob's box, but I've ended up with a Bob basket now, just full of stuff. I might actually do in the new year, after Christmas, have a good search through all my stuff and put together some scrappy bags, which are great for putting together for your blending board if you don't want a lot of stuff. What was the video for next week? I was going to do art yarn with ribbons for next week. I haven't done an art yarn video for ages, and by that point Freya should be finished. I should have got the last of the metallic sheeting put on her and given her a coat of varnish, but I've took that off the shop. I'd had it down as sold, and I had one left on the shop. The ribbons, and it's got locks in it, and it's one of my Tour de Fleece art bats. So I thought I will do that. Spin that with the ribbons and the locks. I might even have a look out to see if I've got any beads. Don't know, we'll see what mood I'm in. I do have some pastel chunky wooden beads, but I think I'll just stick with the locks and ribbons and do that next week. So that's what I plan to do for next week, is that video. So that'll be the case. I will film Monday and it'll be out Tuesday to watch if I don't upload it by accident, which I did do with one of my Christmas videos. One of my Christmas videos, it was set for a premiere, right, which is the first of them. Was it the first or something like that, or it might even be the 2nd of December, and I goes to check on them when I was uploading some other ones, and I seen one had comments on it, and I'm like, oh my god, you're not supposed to see that. Like 27 people had already viewed it within half an hour. I'm like, not allowed to do that. Stop it. So I've had to set them all to private so nobody can see any of them now. So I've just got a couple more of those videos to edit off and get put onto YouTube. It's mostly just the fibre ones because I've got to do voiceover on 2 of them. And the info that I've caught from that, and stick the locks ones on, which I didn't do any talking about them. But the BFL that I got is absolutely gorgeous to work with. I love dyeing it, and it's from a lady in Wales at the Secret Small Holdings Farm. And now they actually have their own butchering, so they sell their meat in big packs. But she does actually breed the most beautiful blue-faced Leicester sheep, and she's not got a massive flock, but I tell you what, when I get her fleeces, I just get so excited because there is absolutely, I haven't come across a single VM in it, no brambles, no bracken in there hiding, there's no bits of moss or anything like that. It's just really gorgeous and such a delight. I will just pull it. This, oh, stop it. It's like clouds. It really is gorgeous. So yeah, so Secret Small Holding Farm, you can find her on Facebook. Can't remember if she's on YouTube. Not YouTube. I mean, they're not massively long, but look how curly they are. Look at that, they just bounce back into place. Yeah, they are quite short locks, these. They're not the longest that I've ever had, but I think I'd sacrifice having long locks. Yeah, it's really, really, really pretty. Go and give her a look up. She might have some more left over. Secret Small Holding Farm. If you can't find her, Danielle, if you want some, let me know and I will look up and I'll tag you. And somebody's farted again. It stinks, and they've run off out the room. That's the sort of present you don't want to be left with. Anyway, on that note, I think I'm going to go and get myself sorted out. Phil will be back home in about 20 minutes. And I've got to go and get all these parcels, Christmas Day parcels, in a bag ready for me to go. So thank you everyone for catching up with me today. Take care of yourselves. And don't forget, go and look up Fine Yarns on Facebook and on Instagram. And go and bag yourself a copy of this for Friday. Take care. See you later. Bye.